Welcome to Travel Tales, a mini-series within Distress to Joyful Bailey's Way podcast. I'm your host, Bailey Raber, here to travel the world with you. In each episode, you'll hear firsthand how my travel experiences have gone, both within the United States and abroad. Together, we'll discover new cultures, learn about a variety of new places for you to go out and explore, bring light to how I navigate my bipolar disorder while traveling, and, most importantly, we'll have fun. You'll leave each episode stocked full of exciting new ideas, interesting information, and feeling like it's time to hop on a plane. So come on, friends, let's start exploring. Hello, friends. I am so happy to be back. I know, be back. I hate that I keep saying that, but it is what it is. Life happens. Life gets in the way. Life is sometimes chaos, and having bipolar disorder, makes that a little bit worse sometimes, as most of you guys already know. But today we are still in India. Yes, we have traveled to India as per the last travel. We have traveled to India as per the last Travel Tales episode, and this is a continuation. So heads up, there's going to be a lot of continuations of this, so I hope that you are super fucking excited. I know I am. But y'all, this was my first trip abroad in such a long time. I was there for over 14 days, so an extended period of time. And I was with my now-fiancé. So it's just, so many amazing things. And I'm going to go and get started because otherwise this podcast episode will be 3 hours long. So we woke up around 10 a.m. to the sounds of Tanvi and Jigger being awake, along with the smells of the food that Auntie, which Auntie is what we call Tanvi's maid. That's kind of the little nickname that was given to her. Along with the smells of the food that Auntie was cooking. As Moni and I laid there for a moment, allowing ourselves to fully become awake, we began to notice sounds from the streets below as Mumbai was also beginning to wake up. We ate breakfast in the house prepared by Auntie, then Tanvi walked us down the apartment building and up the street so that we could catch a ride in an auto. Autos, you guys, are the best fucking thing ever. So, if you have heard of the tuk-tuks that they have in Thailand, that's what an auto is. It's an auto rickshaw, so we call it auto for short. I'm acting like I'm an Indian. They're called auto for short, and they are just so much fun. I love riding in them, and even in the peak heat, if it's 115 degrees outside, which is a thing in India, you guys, 115 degrees, that's nothing in summer. I will still ride in an auto with no AC versus taking a cab or an Uber with AC. That's how much I love riding in these little autos. They are so much fun. So we went to go pick up an auto this day because we were heading to a clothing store called West Side. So West Side is local to India. If you stay all the way through this episode, if you're on YouTube to the end, you'll see some photos of that. If you're not on YouTube and you're listening on a podcast platform, check the episode description and hit travel article and you can see photos of everything I'm talking about. So don't worry, I got you covered either way, my friend. So the traffic had already begun to build up at this point, and I was surprisingly calm as our auto weaved in and out of the traffic that filled the chaotic streets. I have some pretty severe PTSD from past car wrecks, and I was very nervous about being in a vehicle while in India, so it was a massive relief to feel calm as I had initially prepared for the worst. Guys, I didn't put this anywhere because it's not a part of the story, but if you have a moment, get on YouTube and Google crossing the streets in India. Just Google that, or traffic jams in India. It's fucking insane. They look absolutely insane. And for somebody who has severe PTSD, specifically, one avenue is from car accidents, it was terrifying. So terrifying to think that this is what I was going to be sitting in a car in. But the thing is, in India, they drive slow. So even though it looks chaotic and it looks crazy, a lot of times they speed those videos up because people aren't driving very fast over there. They're not. And that is what keeps everybody safe. So Monish's dad, he calls, his name is Molish. I want to give a shout out to Molish. He says that India is God's country because there's no way, like there's nowhere else in the world where you can cross the street safely in this chaos that's ensuing around you all the time. So that's why it's God's country, because God is looking out for his people who are wandering through the chaos. It really is something else, you guys. And if you're planning on going to India, it's good to know these things, but also don't be scared of them, because if somebody with PTSD was fine, you'll be fucking fine. I promise. So we arrived at West Side, where I tried on a few kurtis. They're also called kurtas, but kurtas are for male and kurtis are for the females. Again, you can see photos of these in either the video or the travel article. And I ended up purchasing 2 of them. I also found some lovely sandals that I wore throughout the trip and a pair of earrings that were very traditional. All of this cost about 87 USD, which was amazing to me, as the kurtis also came with pants. So y'all, I got 2 tops, 2 pants, a pair of shoes, and earrings, all for 87 USD. Whereas back home in America, the pants for the kurtis, like the top and the bottom, they're sold separate. They're not sold together like they were in India. And I had purchased 1 kurti here in the United States for Diwali in 2021. I will never, ever fucking buy any clothes, Indian clothes, ever in America, ever again. We were desperate. It was Diwali 2021. I hadn't been to India yet. We needed something. I didn't want to be the only one not wearing something traditional. And I spent $45 on just the top, and it was on sale. Yeah, and that was the cheapest one that I could find that I also liked. Yeah, so, I mean, I spent half the money on one item here in the U.S. versus getting all of that shit there. Like, y'all, I love India. Let me just keep telling you all the reasons why. So after leaving West Side, we hopped into yet another auto that took us to an area where Moni could get some passport-sized photos printed for his H-1B visa documentation appointment that was scheduled for March 16th in Delhi. We walked down a small alley, ducked into a doorway, and found ourselves inside this little photography studio. They had Moni sit on a stool, and they took his photo, a setup that very much so reminded me of the typical 2000s picture day that we endured every year in grade school here in the U.S. So once we received the printed photos, we made our way back to the street where we... Whoops. I did want to add, though, that, y'all, this photo studio, I felt like I was going back in time. Like, the picture frames that were on the wall that you could purchase along with your photo prints, they were 2000s things, y'all. Like, guitars that had a photo in them, or, like, the cutesy, like, BFFs and all of that stuff. It literally looked like it was a 2000s shop. But nope, it was 2022 in the middle of India. Because India is behind on most technological advances. God, I cannot get that word out. And other advances just in general. They're just a little bit behind. That's all. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's literally nothing wrong with it. It's just, it is what it is. Like Monish, he has told me so many different things that, like, they were popular for him in India 10 years after they were popular here in the U.S. That's just how things work. The U.S., unfortunately, has a lot of, influence when it comes to trends and stuff, unfortunately. So, back to where we were going. So, we left West Side. We hopped into yet another auto, and it took us, oh my God. Once we received the printed photos, we made our way back to the street where there were many shops and cafes to explore. I made Moni duck into a bookstore next door with me where I purchased 2 different books about Hindu religion as I'm interested in learning more about it. Which I wish I would have actually grabbed those. I don't think I have. No, they're both in the room. They're both by my bed. I came home with like 5 books from India. These 2 that I bought and like 2 or 3 that were gifted to me. I love reading. You guys know that. But specifically, I have been really curious about Hinduism and everything that has to go along with that religion. And I really wasn't sure where to begin searching to find these type of books in the US. So I was super excited to not only find them, but also to find them written in English in this shop. Yeah, like this random little bookshop, and it just happened to have everything in English. Fucking amazing. So after we left the shop, Moni told me that he wanted to take me to McDonald's to try a McSpicy paneer sandwich. Although I made sure that we stopped in a religious store on the way that I saw so I could purchase a small Ganpati and Saraswati idol before pressing pause on the shopping to grab a bite to eat. Which actually, those of you on YouTube are in for a treat because here is Ganpati and Saraswati. So Ganpati is the god right there. He has the elephant face. He's also known as Ganesh. He's got 2 different forms, 2 different names. That's all I got for you on that. Nothing else. Sorry. And then Saraswati next to him, I believe, don't kill me if I'm wrong, y'all, but I believe that she is the goddess of education, which when I brought this home and I showed Monish's parents, they were like, oh, that makes sense why you would pick her and Ganesh, because I love elephants. So Hati, elephant, Ganpati. And they said Saraswati because education, because I'm in school and I'm just always learning all kinds of things all the time. They know that and they love that. And oh my God, you can see them up there still. How cute. Okay. So as we made our way into McDonald's, we were surprised that they asked to see our vaccination cards, as the last place to do so until now was the Mumbai airport. We began to slightly panic as we had left our physical copies of the cards at home, but thankfully, Monish remembered that he had taken photos of them on his phone, and the McDonald's employees accepted them as the proof that they needed. Y'all, this is fucking weird. Like, nobody had asked for a vaccination card. We were wearing masks most of the time because, again, this was early 2022. It was India. We just wanted to be safe, you know? And McDonald's, of all places, required us to have a vaccine and proof of it. And nobody else fucking cared. The Mumbai airport hardly fucking cared, y'all. So, like, McDonald's, like, what is up your ass? Because that was weird. It was crazy. So we made our way over to the menu kiosk, and I was amazed at how wild the food menu was. I know that McDonald's, as well as other fast food chains, tend to have different food options available in foreign countries because, you know, they have to appeal to the taste buds of the people who live in those countries. But I never imagined to see what I saw. So before you begin to create your order on the touchscreen kiosk, you must first select veg or non-veg to keep confusion aside, as roughly 40% of this entire country maintains a vegetarian diet. So this I fucking loved. I love that so much because we were able to filter our selections ahead of time, as it's often super difficult for us to eat fast food anywhere in the United States, especially now that specifically now that we're vegetarians. Obviously, before vegetarianism, we could eat anywhere, but they don't really have vegetarian options at fast food, which is not the worst thing, but also it's super frustrating when we're on vacation or we just need something really fast and there's nothing available. So that, already, we're off to a great fucking start, McDonald's in India. You go, mcdonalds.in. So we ended up ordering the McSpicy paneer and the McVeggie sandwiches, along with some french fries and an ice-cold Coca-Cola for Moni. They also had paneer McNuggets that I told him that I wanted to try before we left the country. So both of our sandwiches were incredible, although I think that the McSpicy paneer tasted best because I am biased for my love of cheese. And if you have never eaten paneer before, you are missing out, my friend. Paneer it's cheese. It's cottage cheese, but it's like usually comes in a big ass block, and they'll have like cubes of it in whatever you're eating. And it's so good. And Indian food is so good. It is so flavorful, so many spices, just all of the things. And this McSpicy paneer, it was like a little square patty of paneer. and they put this spicy sauce on top, and then lettuce and the bun, and you just bit into it, and it just like melted and was like so saucy and so good. And I am not gonna apologize if you're hungry right now or if I just made you hungry. So it was interesting for me to try their menu items, and I found the decor in the restaurant equally interesting. So everything, including the technology, was very modern and up to date, which was completely different from the little photography studio down the street that seemed to have been a step back in time. So to Moni, these little details aren't even noticed by him, as this country is his home. While to me, it's a whole new world of endless wonder and surprises around every corner. I shit you not, guys. Wonder and surprises around every corner, and you will see that as these episodes continue. You're going to be blown away with all kinds of random shit. So buckle up and get ready for an amazing couple of weeks, y'all. So after finishing our lunch, we walked back to Tanvi's apartment as it was close by, and walking after a meal is great to help settle the food in your stomach. If you didn't already know that, you're welcome. So we dropped off all of our shopping bags, and we quickly changed clothes and then grabbed yet another auto, my favorite, to take us across town to Bandra Fort. I was super happy to jump into yet another auto as I quickly fell in love with these little rides, which I've already said I feel redundant. I don't care. If you're on YouTube, please enjoy this smile because I really love autos. I do. Just the memory makes me just so happy. So the small auto rickshaws can zoom in and out of traffic much easier than the bigger vehicles, and I just find it really exhilarating. And also, they're really small, so you know they're not going fast at all, but it feels like they're like zooming through really fast because all the other cars are moving even slower, and they're all stuck in traffic and shit. So we arrived on the side of town where the fort was located, but Moni made a pit stop in order for us to check out St. Mary's Church, aka Basilica of Our Lady of the Mount, which I also found out it's called St. Mary's Basilica. So, wait, Mount Mary's Basilica. Shit, I don't know where I got this St. Mary's from. So Moni told me that he used to go there sometimes when he lived in Mumbai because his all-time favorite Bollywood movie, Rockstar, has an incredible scene that was shot right outside of this basilica. So while this church was Catholic, the inside looked a lot different than any Catholic church I'd been inside in the U.S. So it was super colorful. It had words written in both English and Hindi, which I found to be really fascinating because when you think of India, I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't think Catholic. I think Hindu. Like, I immediately think Hindu. And so I think of, like, the temples and the gods and all of that. So imagine walking into a Catholic church and also seeing Hindi words everywhere. Like, mind-blowing. So what I found most interesting, though, was seeing so many women wearing saris and traditional Indian clothing while attending the small service that was taking place. So you definitely don't see this kind of thing in the Catholic Church back home in the U.S. So again, another wonder and surprise around the corner. Next, we began to make our way towards Bandra Fort on foot. It was a short enough distance away for us to enjoy a nice walk together, although it was very hot outside, and the fort did not offer much shade at all, as it was mainly just remains of it. So because of that, we just quickly took some photos that overlooked Mahim Bay, the skyline of Mumbai, and the Bandra-Worli Sea Link Bridge, which opened in 2009. Which, by the way, this Sea Link Bridge is the toll bridge in Mumbai. So the way the country is shaped, like it's a port, but it's like a U, right? So the city lines the U like this. If you're, a little U, imagine a U, and then the bridge connects the two ends of the U's over the ocean. So it's like this massive ass bridge. Sorry. And we actually rode on that once or twice, I think, maybe twice in taxis and stuff. We didn't drive on it, but It's pretty cool. You can go really fast on that because it's a toll bridge. You have to pay. So not most people don't take it unless it's necessary because it's kind of expensive actually compared to just any other. I don't know that they actually have many other toll bridges, to be honest. So that might be why it's not really used because people just don't want to pay, and I do not blame them. So Moni had asked if I wanted to climb to the top of the fort for a better view of the city, and I quickly refused because I was dying to get out of the sun, you guys. So instead, we walked into the garden that was right there nearby. We took a seat on the steps under all of the beautiful palm trees and greenery. There was a bit of a breeze from the ocean, and all of this was such a nice break from the constant movement in the sun. So we had some more time to kill before meeting up with Tanvi and Jigger, and then Tanvi's friend Manish, not to be confused with Monish. So we made an executive decision to head to a local coffee shop that offered some air conditioning alongside a tasty caffeinated beverage. So, fun fact, I don't know if I mentioned this in the last Travel Tales episode, so if I'm repeating myself, fuck it, get used to it. So, air conditioning is reserved for the 1% in India. Like, the billionaires of India have centralized AC. Everybody else, all they have is just like a unit above their window or their door. Usually it's above the balcony window. Or, sorry, the balcony door, sliding glass door for a balcony if there's an outside balcony. And if not, then it's above a window. And they'll keep the room cool, don't get me wrong, but they only keep that one room cool. So, a lot of the shops there, they don't really have AC. Some of them, like the bigger ones, they'll have centralized AC, but, you can't expect all restaurants and all places you walk into in India to have AC. You just can't. And this one, thankfully, it had those things on above the door, so there was AC in there. It was a small enough shop that everything was centralized. And so that was, again, such a nice break from the heat. Because, y'all, this was my first full day in India, and I was just getting started understanding what this heat was going to be like. And this was in March, you guys. This was March. It was only beginning to be the hot season. So... So Coffee by D. Bella was somewhere that Moni had always wanted to try, and so everything just seemed to fall right into place. So I chose to enjoy a smoothie as I don't like consuming caffeine past the morning time, but I later regretted this choice as smoothies are made using ice. Ice is made with local water, and local water likes to destroy an American stomach. So although this was a bad move on my end, the smoothie was actually really delicious and fresh. So that sucked. Yeah, so the thing, and if any of you guys have been to Mexico, you know not to drink the water there. It's the same thing in India. We Westerners cannot drink the water in India. Us Americans, Canadians, I'm sure the same thing. We just can't. Their water is not filtered the way ours is here. There's bacteria there that our stomach is not used to. And so I knew I should not be using ice. If I order a beverage anywhere, no ice. Because if I get ice, it was made with local water, not the bottled water that I was always constantly drinking. So, ordering a smoothie, I didn't think about it, y'all. It was my first full day there. Thankfully, it didn't destroy my stomach too bad. It did upset it a bit. I was taking Pepto a couple times. But just a heads up for any of you guys traveling to a third world country or a country where the water is considered not safe for American consumption, then watch out for ice and smoothies, because that shit is something that you have to remember and think about, or else you're going to be spending tomorrow by the toilet. Just saying. So once the sun began to set, we left the coffee shop and we browsed a few of the street market stalls before heading over to Soho House, which Soho House is an exclusive club that only grants memberships to people in creative fields. So Manish, which is Tanvi's friend, who we were meeting up with him and Tanvi and Jigger, and a reminder, Tanvi and Jigger are my fiancé Monish's sister and brother-in-law. So their friend Manish, he had gained access to a membership through his experience and connections working in the Bollywood film industry. So we were able to enter Soho House as his guests. So Tanvi also works in the Bollywood industry, but she didn't have a Soho Club membership at this time. And fortunately, Manish was able to get all 4 of us in under his name because he got Tanvi in first, and then me and Monish, and then lastly Jigger. And so they weren't keeping track of how many people he was bringing in, because I think that there's a limit on that. Not 100% sure. But, like, guys, it was so fucking cool. Like, my first night in India, I'm in an exclusive club. And by club, let me kind of explain the setup of this place, because Manish gave us a tour, and it was really fucking cool. So, the first floor, I believe, I could be wrong, I can't remember. Oh, I'm going to skip the first floor because I cannot remember. So, the second floor, that was, I believe, the library. It might have been the bar. I don't remember specifically. So, like, there was 4 floors. How about that? There was 4, maybe 5, at least 4. And one of them was a library. That they called it the library, but it was more like just a bunch of like little meeting rooms and tables everywhere and couches and books, shelves and stuff. And it was a place for people to come and, like, if you have, you know, I don't know, if you're a creative producer and you're doing what creative producers do, then this is a space where you can come and do that. So it's really cool. Then they have the bar floor where it's just a bar and everything there is a bar. Then they also have, which is really fucking cool, they have a screening room, y'all. A screening room. It's on the video. So if you're on YouTube, just wait till the end of this and you'll see everything at the end. If you're not on YouTube and you're listening to the episode, look in the episode description and click on where it says slideshow. Click that link. It'll take you to YouTube. And there's a 2-minute video and you can see the screening room. It is fucking cool. There's an on-air sign. So, like, if there's people in there, they light that up so, like, people don't come in. But you go in there and there's curtains, and behind the curtains there's this big-ass screen, and there's all these big-ass comfy chairs, like, literally like what I'm sitting in right now, except way comfier and not from a thrift store. Nor decorated, homemade by, you know, me. So next to all of these chairs is a small little table with a lamp. Because when you're in there, if you work in Bollywood and you're watching a screening, you are there taking notes. You are there, you know, to work. You're not there to just enjoy. It's work. But, like, all of them had these little lamps so you could see your notes and shit. Like, how cool is that? It felt so fancy. It felt so fancy. And then the top of it is it's all open air up there. So we sat up there and that's where we ate dinner. So there's a bar, there's like a little pool that I think you could swim in. I cannot remember. I'm pretty sure you can. You can lounge by the pool, the little cabanas. This is where all of the Bollywood stars, this is where they go. Because this is somewhere where if you don't have a membership, you cannot come in. And the people who are here are all in the Bollywood industry or Hollywood or whatever creative industry. So them seeing a celebrity, they're not going to, like, freak out and go bother them. So it's kind of cool because it's a place where celebrities can go kind of relax a little bit. Because imagine being a celebrity and just trying to drink coffee at a coffee shop and being bothered by people all fucking the entire time to take photos with you. That's got to get old. So that's why I've never heard of Soho House before. You probably haven't either, but they're literally all over the world. There are Soho Houses in New York, LA, Germany, UK. I could keep going, but that's a waste of time, and I'm not. So let's get back to this story. So we enjoyed dinner, and those who drink also enjoyed drinks alongside their dinner. Up on the 8th floor. Oh my God, y'all. I was totally wrong. 8 floors. I don't know what all the other 4 out of this 8 are. I just remember what we saw. I think there was probably a sauna, maybe a spa, a gym. I don't know. I'm just making shit up right now. So you can just believe me and we'll just go with that. And up on this rooftop, there is an amazing view of the Arabian Sea, which the Arabian Sea is what comes into the port of Mumbai. So sadly, it was super dark outside by the time we made it up there because it was after 9 p.m. So we weren't able to bask in the glorious view. But we did spend the remainder of the evening just enjoying the company around the table. And we got to get to know each other a little bit and just talk endlessly about Bollywood films as to be expected while we're in this exclusive club. Yeah, so this was such an amazing day. Again, it was the first full day there. As you can see, very jam-packed. Got a lot of things done. Experienced so many new things. So many. I do have to encourage you, though, if you are traveling abroad, you have to try McDonald's in whatever country it is you're going to. I know it sounds cliche and weird or stupid or whatever, but seriously, try McDonald's wherever you're going because there's always something different. Every country does something different, and it's really cool. So, before I close out, I do have something I want to show you, specifically for those of you on YouTube. I did not purchase this myself, so it's not my own souvenir. It was actually gifted to me and I think Moni, but definitely me. One of the customs in India, just, little random fun fact, is that if you are meeting someone new for the first time, they usually will gift you with... They usually will gift you with something. And so, since I was coming in as, at this time I was Monish's girlfriend. So a lot of people were meeting me for the first time as, potentially becoming part of this family. So people were bringing me gifts left and right. It was crazy. And funny story about this gift is Monish didn't tell these people that I had already gone home because he stayed a week and a half longer in India than I did. So he didn't tell anybody I had left. And he showed up to 3 different people's houses without me, and 3 different people had gifts for me. And so their first reaction was, "Where's Bailey?" And he's like, "Oh, she went home." I'm like, how rude? How rude is that? But the gift did make it to me eventually. I'm sure I will meet these people if I haven't already. So this one is really fun. It is a coaster set of Mumbai. So I'm going to hold each of them up individually. They make a lot of noise, so oops. Oh, this is outside the Taj Mahal Hotel. I think it's called Taj Mahal Motel. Oh, sorry, hotel, or just maybe the Taj Hotel. It's in Mumbai. Everything on these coasters is in Mumbai. Oh, this is the bridge I was talking about. The Bandra Worli Sea Link Bridge. Wow, I'm good. My memory's good because I was not looking at that. I promise. I was trying. I was trying to find it. I could not. This is the gateway to India, which we do visit later on in this trip. So I'm not going to tell you anything about it right now. You'll just have to tune in later. I'm not sure where this is, but it's in Mumbai, or what this is, but I think I saw it, and it's definitely in Mumbai. This I saw in the nighttime. This is I believe, the Grand train station, but again, we'll talk about that later. And I think I saw this. I don't really remember, and I also am not sure what it is, but... Yeah, so there you have it, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed exploring Mumbai with me. So, spoiler alert, we will explore Mumbai once more on this trip. It's not going to be until later, but this next day is super fascinating, and I'm sure y'all are going to be really excited to tune in. So, thanks for traveling along with me. I hope you have been enjoying India thus far and that you're excited for more. But until next time, take it easy, stay grateful, and be joyful. Bye! Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Travel Tales. Head on over to whatisheybellsdoing.com/travel to find the resources mentioned in today's episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating on your favorite listening platform or write a review on Apple Podcasts. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on new episode releases. See you next time for another great adventure. Bye!